there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today we are talking the Traitors US Season 2, Episode 4. For some reason, we are getting one episode a week, and I don't understand. This season is so good, you guys. So those of you who are not familiar with the show, it is a show in which about 20-ish or so odd people, sometimes they have a mix of reality stars versus regular people. This season for the US, it's all reality stars / celebs. And the goal of this is that a handful of people are what's called traitors, like 2 to 4 people usually. It varies on the show and the season, right? And their job is to murder people each episode. So basically, if you are not a traitor, you are called a faithful, right? And that means you're not doing anything destructive, you're not bad or whatever. But a traitor, you can take out anybody. You can take out your friends, you can take out your enemies, you can take out whomever. And so every episode there is breakfast to see who got murdered, to see who survived, and why the person got murdered. And then you get a competition of sorts because you have to add money to the pot to potentially win the money, right? I believe it's $250,000 for the US version. And, you basically have to add money to the pot. Sometimes they win, sometimes they lose. And then you have what's called a round table where everybody gathers around, and that is your opportunity to guess who is a faithful, who is a traitor, and get out the traitors. Because if you can get out all of the traitors at the very end, you win the money. But if a traitor is still there at the very end, the traitor gets all the money. So the faithfuls try to get together and try to conspire and try to, figure all of this stuff out. And it's just hilarious, you guys. It is absolutely hilarious. So in this episode, we left off with the cliffhanger about, who was Parvati going to give this chalet to? Who was she going to give the poison to? We thought it was for sure going to be MJ, or somebody else. And for some reason, Parvati is like, oh, well, we'll just do Ekansu. And I was like, okay, this isn't really going to make any sense, but okay. So she gives it to Ekansu, and then breakfast the next morning, Ekansu appears. And so, everybody's freaking out. The traitors are freaking out because Dan and Phaedra didn't know which person Parvati gave the drink to. And so then Alan comes in. He is so dramatic this season, but I'm enjoying it thoroughly. He said basically what is going to happen is that there are going to be, somebody is going to be walking to their death. That everybody needs to, dress for a funeral procession, and there will be questions along the way to eliminate people as far as, who the possible people are that are poisoned. Out of 3 people are poisoned, and then once you get down to the very end, you have to guess correctly who was the person that got poisoned by the traitors, and if you guess correctly, you get, I believe it was like $20,000 or something. And so it was funny because there was a segment where one of the questions was like, who are 2 people that were born the same year or whatever. And so I think Larsa thought that her and Sandra were like the same year, born the same year. And Sandra was like, I thought Larsa was at least 10 to 15 years older than me. And I just cackled, you guys. I just cackled. I wasn't ready for the shade. I was not ready for it at all because Larsa, for whatever reason, feels she needs to do the Kardashian special with the plastic surgery. And it just looks a hot mess, you guys. Nonetheless, everybody answers the questions correctly. And as you answer the questions correctly, more of the faithfuls and traitors get to sit in this carriage. So that way it narrows down the people till you get down to single digits to potentially have a better shot at guessing correctly on who was poisoned. So we get down to the bottom 3, which ends up being, MJ, it ends up being Parvati, and it ends up being Ekansu, and they all have to lay in a coffin, you guys. And then they have to put down black roses on the coffin that they think the traitors had poisoned. And so, the traitors, they're going back and forth on whether or not they should, just choose the right answer. But they decided to go with the majority, and the majority all thought that it was going to be MJ. And they were wrong. They were wrong. And so then it was very dramatic because when they exposed it was Ekansu, like they already had a grave dug up. They closed the coffin. They had the workers come over and dump dirt on top of her as if she was really dead, as if she was really being buried. And it was just a hot mess. It was just a hot mess. So everybody's all confused. Everybody's trying to retrace their steps and figure out who was in what room and what happened and all of these things. And mind you, we still have a banishment. We still have a banishment to discuss, right? So everybody's freaking out. Everybody is trying to, you know, figure out, okay, who are the targets? Larsa is in charge of the girls, is in charge of the housewives. Everybody, like, there's a division with, like, the Gamers Alliance, and then there's, like, a Housewives/Bravo Alliance. And, you know, some people are feeling threatened. And so Dan and Parvati are conspiring to, you know, if any of them get outed, they want Phaedra to be the one that's the most outed because she's the one who is the most undetected, right? And she's the person that people would least suspect, where it is more obvious if Parvati or Dan were the traitors, which I think is going to be a stupid move, and it's going to backfire, and they're going to underestimate Phaedra. Remember me saying this as I get to the end of the video. And nonetheless, you know, all the faithfuls are gathering around, and they have decided that the two people that they're going to go after tonight are going to be CT and Larsa. They're going after CT because they think CT is an alpha male. They think an alpha male is in charge of getting rid of all these people so that he is the only alpha male left. They are correct in that assessment. They just have the wrong guy. So they narrowed it down between CT and Dan, and for some reason chose CT. And then everybody else is like, this is our opportunity to break up the housewives and to go for the housewives. And Larsa is the one who is leading the charge. She is the one who is the most astute. She is the one who has the most correct reads on who could potentially be a traitor. She has correctly guessed traitors as well. And is like, you know, actually put down, I believe her and MJ put down Dan's name because they thought for sure he was a traitor. However, not enough votes went that way to expose him. So so then we get to the round table, and Parvati likes to, you know, well, you know, they all say people are actors, but nobody's better actors than housewives. And I was like, uh-oh. I was like, this is not going to end well for Parvati. And so housewives, they were like, listen, we show our real lives. And they're like, if you're going to treat us like this, then we're just going to keep to ourselves, which they're doing anyways. And so it got into this big back and forth on what these like rationales were that people were trying to have. I think somebody randomly, a couple of votes went Kevin's way just because they felt that he was just a moron and didn't know anything about anything or anyone. And I think John randomly got a vote. Like, it was just all over the place. It was all a hot mess. But nonetheless, Larsa ended up with the most votes. And it's funny because I don't actually care for her on Housewives or anything outside of this show, but I felt she actually was good on this show. She actually understood the assignment on this show. And unfortunately, she got banished and said that she, of course, was a faithful and that people should have been listening to her on who she was saying was the traitors and who are the people that people need to be looking into, right? And so then after, you know, Alan teases there's still going to be a murder tonight or whatever. And I was like, uh-oh, it's about to go down with the traitors, because Phaedra had this look on her face like she was not featuring anything Parvati was saying once she tried to call out the housewives and try to point the finger at the housewives. So the moment that the traitors get in there, Parvati, Dan, and Phaedra, she has her arms folded and she is giving the death stare at Parvati, you guys. And she is like, listen, I have been playing fair with you. I have been playing a fair game. But this whole nonsense where we're going to put shows against each other, or we're going to try to throw other people under the bus, if that's the game you want to play, we can play it, because nobody likes you, Parvati. And I was done. I was like, this is the Phaedra we needed on Married to Medicine. This is the Phaedra that we have been missing for several years. This is the Phaedra. The show is made for Phaedra. Because it is the lying, the backstabbing, the conniving behavior that we all know Phaedra to be. This is her in her element, you guys. And so she is up here telling Parvati, she is reading her to rights, you guys. And, you know, she is saying, you know, don't try to make me the scapegoat. Don't try to pin this on me. And then as the credits are going, and she's like, and that goes for the both of you. It goes to Dan, too, because Dan also underestimates Phaedra. And their faces, their shocked faces were hilarious. And so I am here for all of the chaos. I am here for all of the tea. I am here for all of the drama. And I need to call out the Big Brother and Survivor people, because I'm a big fan of Survivor and Big Brother. And those of you who are trying to malign Phaedra for correctly, you know, telling Parvati what is what, I have some news for you. Here's the thing. The rules can't just apply for only your faves to be messy, and then when somebody calls out your faves, you want to cry wolf. No. Regardless if you like Phaedra or not, you cannot discount that was a good scene. And that was a fantastic read. She knew she was on top of things. They underestimated her. They thought she was a dumb housewife and that they were just going to get away with trying to put her under the bus. So now Phaedra knows if they attempt to throw her under the bus next week, she's going to expose them. So people are trying to, you know, say this is bad for Phaedra. No, this is bad for Parvati and Dan if they want to go down this road. If they want to go down this road and try to throw Phaedra under the bus and she gets wind of it, she is going to flip the tables and expose the both of them. So, and I think production, since, you know, NBC, Universal, Peacock, they love Phaedra, you guys. They love Phaedra because they've been trying to get her back on Housewives for years, although Candy has been blocking it. So, but they love Phaedra. So I think for an extent, I don't know if Phaedra's going to win. I don't know if she's going to have enough to win. But I think production will protect her long enough for her to last because she is bringing it. She is standing on business. She understands the assignment. She is giving us confessional drag. She is giving us everything. Her and Janelle are top tier in these confessionals of just dragging all of these people. And just because this is what you need in a game like this, right? So the people who are crying, I need you to get it together, because if it was the other way around, if it was Parvati that came at Phaedra like that, you would be giving her, oh yeah, that's right, you better tell her, and blah, 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 blah. And some of you are trying to be the moral police now about Phaedra's past and acting like you had no idea about Phaedra's past for the last 4 episodes. And here's the thing, there's other people in that cast who've also done some grimy stuff too. If we're going to expose Phaedra, we can expose some other people too, who tried to get their cast members drunk to cheat on their dying significant other and get them wasted and under the influence. We can go there if you guys want to go there, and exposing some of these dark secrets of your faves that you pretend are angels as you're trying to malign Phaedra. Let's not do that. 2 things can be true. You can dislike with what happened season 9 with Kandi Burruss. You can dislike that whole situation, right? You can agree to disagree on what led up to that, right? On what led to that fallout. But separately on this show, you cannot deny the entertainment that Phaedra is bringing. You cannot deny that this was the Phaedra that people were expecting to see on Married to Medicine. You cannot deny that Phaedra and Janelle are the main characters of this Traitor season. And Alan. Alan wants to be the main character too. These are the main characters who are running the show and are providing you the entertainment. So this notion like, oh, you know, they better hurry up and get rid of Phaedra. This is why I'm happy shows like these are pre-taped. I am so happy shows like these are pre-taped and that there is no audience interference, because guess what? You are going to be watching like the rest of us on what is going to happen. And you're going to be hate watching to see how long Phaedra lasts. And guess what? It doesn't matter if you tune out now, because the records have already been broken. This was already the most watched premiere on Peacock history, even more than Love Island USA and Love Island Games and even Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. So this is the #1 show. This is Peacock's darling. So guess what? They are going to make sure they're going to keep us, you know, completely entertained with the top tier entertainment. So you better get on board. Or if you're going to complain like this and be in your feelings, then maybe now is the time to get off the bandwagon. Because if you're not going to like what you're going to see, what's coming forward, then maybe the show is not for you. But you need to understand, sometimes when your faves get caught being sneaky and messy, what is wrong with them being called out for it? The goal of being sneaky and messy is to go undetected.
if you are being sneaky and messy and you expose yourself being, sneaky and messy, it's fair game for you to be called out. Parvati showed her hand. She didn't have to make it a housewives thing. If she specifically wanted to target Larsa, that's all she had to do. All she had to do was say, listen, Larsa, I think you were leading the charge of the women and you're going through this narrative that it's the men. You didn't have to break this into TV shows. Because if you want to go that route, a lot of people are going to get exposed. And it's going to get very ugly if you do this thing, a reality show versus reality show type of thing. And who's real and who's fake. No. That is not going to fly, especially with no Housewives fans. Especially with the Housewives fans. I think people have underestimated Phaedra and they have underestimated how passionate these Housewives fans are. People think that, Big Brother fans and Survivor fans are unhinged, but the Housewives are another level. They will get all of your tea. They will get all of your tea, all of your arrest records. They will dig until they get to the bottom of you. So you better be careful on who you want to mess with, on who you want to go toe-to-toe with on social media. Because arguing with Housewives fans is not worth it. You're not going to win. So there is that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.